And a top focus in WION at this hour. Fresh violence has been reported in the West Bank. The Israeli emergency services say that a Palestinian gunman opened fire at a gas station near the Israeli settlement in the region, killing at least 4 people and wounding 4 others. Hamas group has claimed responsibility for the attack. The Israeli military has now said that it is boosting its forces in the West Bank in response to the latest attack. More details in our next report. Take a look.
Friends and relatives mourn for a victim of the shooting carried out by Palestinian gunmen in the Jewish-occupied West Bank Tuesday that left at least 4 people dead and 4 more injured. Emergency services say the gunman opened fire at a roadside restaurant and gas station. The militant Hamas group claimed responsibility for the shooting and said the 2 gunmen were members of its armed wing. Israeli authorities say 1 gunman was shot dead by a civilian at the scene and the second by Israeli security forces, who tracked him down after he fled the area. Israel's police minister has now urged Jewish settlers in the area to arm themselves with weapons, and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the, quote, score would be settled.
Everyone who hurt us is either in the grave or in prison, so it will be here as well.
Hamas said the attack was a response to a deadly Israeli raid a day earlier in the flashpoint city of Jenin. Israel used helicopter gunships on Monday in an hours-long gun battle that appeared to be some of the worst violence in the West Bank in months. The firefight killed 6 Palestinians, including a teenager, and left more than 90 Palestinians wounded. The West Bank has seen a sharp increase in violence over the past 15 months. Israel has stepped up its raids as violence surged between Israeli settlers and Palestinians. US-brokered peace talks between Israel and the Palestinians collapsed in 2014 and show no sign of revival.
For more on this, our correspondent Jody Cohen is joining us live from Ranana. Hi, Jody. Now, what can you tell us about some of the statements that have been made in reaction to the attack?
Hi, Rahisha. So the Islamist Hamas group has claimed that the 2 shooters responsible for the attack were members of its armed wing. And according to Israel's ambassador to the United Nations, Gilad Erdan, Palestinian Authority President Abbas has refused to condemn the murders. Now, US Ambassador to Israel Tom Niders caused some controversy in his response when he tweeted his concern about civilian deaths over the past 48 hours. Apparently referring to those killed in the gun battle in Jenin on Tuesday, as well as those killed in Eli. Now, that's received criticism from politicians for apparently equating the terror attack against Israeli civilians with what they said was an Israeli counter-terror operation. And Israel's ambassador to the US, Mike Herzog, said that any attempt of a so-called balanced condemnation is misguided and disrespectful to the memory of the victims. Nidus then issued a second tweet explicitly condemning the murder of 4 innocent Israelis. And the US State Department also issued a statement saying that they will continue to work with Israel and the Palestinian Authority to promote steps towards de-escalation.
Right, Jody, do you think steps will now be taken towards de-escalation like you just mentioned? Or do you see a military option on the table in response? What's likely to happen next?
So some senior coalition and opposition figures as well are calling for a military operation to get hold of the illegal weapons. Some Israelis tried taking the matter into their own hands, setting fire to cars and fields and damaging homes in the West Bank. 3 people were arrested, and President Herzog called on everyone to show responsibility, especially, quote, our sisters and brothers in Judea and Samaria, using the historic names for the West Bank. Now, on Wednesday morning, some settler leaders went to the illegal outpost of Eviatar and called on the Israeli government to authorize building there in response to the attack. National Unity Party head Benny Gantz said that the opposition will support a responsible response, but didn't go more into details. Prime Minister Netanyahu has said that all options are open. The IDF has announced that it's bolstering the area with more forces, and the police have said that they're deploying more officers to protect sensitive and crowded areas. Meanwhile, Hamas have said that the attack in Eli is just the start of a series of attacks against Israelis that will, quote, shatter their fragile states.
Right. Thanks very much, Jody, for joining us on WION and sharing your insights with us. We'll, of course, be tracking the story very closely here, but thanks very much for joining us at this hour.
Thank you.